It's the Guitar Dads. It's the Guitar Dads.
Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar people by guitar dads. This week, a festival of darkness, or are we just barking at the moon? We still don't antitrust, we're paying fair prices for tickets, and we finally fill the void as we rewind and sit down with this rocker. It's not make-believe this week on the Guitar Dads Podcast. And now the two dudes who make shit up all the time, Matt and Dave. Actually, I have to do the laugh for Matt tonight because Matt is not on the podcast, guys. So I have to do the ha-ha, the fake laugh, or the fake humor in the intro. So there's Matt's laugh. I can tell you that if he was sitting here, he would have done that for you. But thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for listening to the Guitar Dads each and every single week when we put out an episode, obviously. You know where you can check us out at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and Threads, and find us over on YouTube. And of course, if you want to have some hijinks, come over to the private Facebook group at Guitar Dads Podcast there, where we're always having some fun. And if you want to support the show, as we said, we no longer do the Patreon episode. If you want to support the show and keep the lights on, so to speak, go over to patreon.com/Guitar Dads Podcast for $1 a month. You can keep the lights on for us. And there we go. Well, as I said, we're going to be going alone tonight. Well, at least me and our guest without Matt. I don't know. Maybe it could be better. You tell us. Do you want to see like me do a show by myself and then Matt do a show by himself? Are you sick of hearing our voices together? I don't know. You guys tell us. Anyway, so let's get into it. I'm just going to let you guys know about our guest tonight. If you like your rock gritty, soulful, and straight from the heart of Texas, then you are in the right place. Formed in Palestine, Texas, Blacktop Mojo has carved out a sound that blends Southern rock swagger, post-grunge punch, and a bluesy soul into something unmistakably their own. Since their breakout with the album Burn the Ships, they've built a fiercely loyal fan base through relentless touring and raw powerhouse performances. I am joined tonight by guitarist Ryan Kiefer, who lays down killer riffs, is here to talk all things Blacktop Mojo, the gear, and more. Ryan, dude, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. We have a lot we want to get into, but as we were talking off air, we have some news and notes to get to, and we always get into that with our guests. So I'd love to hear your opinion on these two items that came up. So let's get into the Dadaverse.
Welcome to the Dadaverse.
All right. So, Ryan, our news and notes segment is aptly named the Dadaverse. So
Love it. Love it. That's a
you
dad
love it?
joke.
You like it? It's
Yeah.
such a dad joke. Yeah, we're gonna skip to do you a favor. I'm gonna skip the dad joke of the week tonight, just so you know.
Hey, I'm a
save you
new.
little bit.
I'm a dad now, so
Oh yeah,
away,
yeah,
away,
yeah,
away
yeah.
with the joke. I mean, keep them coming.
Yeah, all right. We'll keep the dad jokes. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You are a
absolutely.
fellow guitar dad.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, real quick, Sharon Osbourne announced this week that Ozfest is going to be returning in 2027. It's the first time since 2018. And it kind of seems like the festival popularity is forever growing, at least in the US. It's always been really big in Europe. And it seems to be kind of coming back in recent years here. Have you guys played any festivals in here overseas?
Yeah, we played a lot at Rockfest. Of course, now that you put me on the spot, I can't remember the names of a couple of them that we played last. I believe it was last year. We haven't played any over in Europe. I think we've gotten a couple of offers in the past to play a couple over there, but hopefully we get to soon, man. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I mean, those festivals and the European festivals seem like they're just massive.
Yeah,
Like
like
they're huge
download
events.
and
Yeah,
yeah, all those are
all
crazy,
those.
crazy awesome.
Yeah, it'd be great if you guys could get over there. So yeah, that'd be fun. I think this was it was always a big festival here, and I know it did go to Europe at some point too. But it's it would be sad this year or in 2027 because Ozzy, of course, won't be there. But
Right.
to keep that legacy going, I think is a really cool thing.
Absolutely.
So there is that. And then, of course, in perfect timing. We don't have a lot of news on this because it just dropped today, but the Justice Department here in the U.S. Just reached a settlement with Live Nation Ticketmaster. As you know, the government had sued them. It was an antitrust suit filed in, I don't know, a few months ago, 6 months. I don't remember when it was, but yeah, I mean, usually when there's a settlement, usually somebody's admitting some kind of fault here, which we all kind of suspect, and we've discussed this a lot on the show. But um, Ryan, what do you have any thoughts on this whole thing? I know you guys tour a lot. I don't know if you play any Live Nation venues. If you've had any experience with like ticket issues in general, and like,
I don't think we've
sure,
played enough Live Nation hosted shows to really affect us that much. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I think it does affect the artists because a lot of the times, I mean, they don't have control of the ticket prices. They get paid a guarantee or whatever, and then uh, people get um, gouged, and
yeah,
it's just not,
yeah,
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would have enough knowledge to really like give a formal opinion about it, but I don't know. Obviously, something was going down, or they wouldn't have settled. So, um, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because the accusations were pretty clear. I mean, you have a promoter like Live Nation
Hmm.
who owns Ticketmaster, who owns
Yep.
all these venues where all these big artists are playing. They kind of have control of everything. And then, of course, there was the accusation that um, essentially they were kind of, in addition to other resellers, kind of buying up their own tickets and then reselling them in inflated values. So
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
it's really insane.
It
And
is.
it's even with the settlement, we don't really see any end in sight to this because I don't think it's going to stop. But
Yeah.
there's
Who
that.
knows? Yeah. I hope it does.
Yeah, I know, especially
I hope
for
it does.
yeah, for guys like you that don't play a lot of venues like this. It's hard to kind of get into that scene because, like you said, you're kind of at the whim of Live Nation, essentially, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, speaking of the band and everything else, let's get into you and Blacktop Mojo. So I want to hear, of course, we always have to know the origin story of like how did you get into guitar? How did you get into music? And then how did that lead to this like crazy killer band?
So I think it was probably when I was about 10, 12 years old. My dad started playing guitar. And when he started playing guitar, he actually bought me an acoustic. And at the time, I had shown no interest in that whatsoever because I don't know what I was doing at 10 years old. But um, anyways, so a couple years uh, went down the road, and he was playing guitar one day, and all of a sudden, I just remember thinking that's cool, And then I started getting into. He was, at the time, of course, he listened to Metallica, uh, Journey, Boston,
Yeah,
and
dude, the
yeah,
big
I mean
ones.
all the big ones, right? So got into that. Also, believe it or not, Creed was a big proponent into me starting because their first album came out in '97.
Oh
Of
yeah,
course, I
what
didn't.
an album that was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I became a big Creed fan, and big Mark Tremonti fan and all that early on, and then got into the Led Zeppelin and just all those guys, man. So I kind of just took over my dad's guitar playing. He was like, "Well, here, have this," and he had at the time. I was lucky enough that he had this 95, and I still have it to this day, but it's a 95 American Stratocaster standard, I believe,
Oh,
and
nice.
it's really cool guitar. So I picked it up, man, and just kind of. I remember him having this VHS tape, and it was like, and I for the life of me, I cannot remember who it was, but they had it was blues licks for beginners or something like that, and went over the basics, the A minor pentatonic scale and kind of the extensions that go from there, and I've been using that ever since. So
Yeah.
started that, and then I kind of got to where I started picking things out by ear, and then I would go and learn different songs. And of course, I had all the Guitar World magazines and stuff coming to the house and all that stuff. So I learned how to read tabs. This was all before YouTube for your real young listeners out there. So at least I had more than just listening to a record. I had guitar tabs and listening to a record. So I had a
That's
little
right.
bit of
Yeah.
help, I guess, growing up. But and then from there, man, I think my let's see, my first band that I was really gigging hard. It was me and my uncle, and we were kind of like a country type band that played around here a lot, and did that for a few years. And actually, how I met the guys in Blacktop was, I think it was probably after 6 months the band was established, and then we were playing a festival with those guys, with the guys, and I met Nathan, our drummer, and we got to talking, and they were kind of looking for, because at the time they were a four-piece band, and they were looking for another guitar player, and so he gave me his number, and I went down and rehearsed with him, and I made the gig, I guess, because I'm still here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm still
You're
here.
here.
But
Never
yeah,
turn back.
so never turned back, man. Just so that's how I kind of got involved. But it was like I think it was 4 to 6 months after Nathan and Matt and Ki, which was the original guy, um, and then Chris Davis, who was playing bass, and this was very, very early on. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So what was the early music like, and how did you guys kind of like, decide on like a sound and like who was going to play what and all that stuff? That's always interesting to me, to when bands first get together, you get a couple different guitarists, and it can either work really well very easily, or it could be a little bit of a navigation through muddy waters.
Yeah. I think, well, first of all, I've just kind of been we've all been kind of lucky on just everybody that we've, whether that been Chuck, me and Ki, and me and Malcolm. I mean, I don't know, I've always gelled with all the guys that have been in and out of the band. And what was your other question? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it just like, so it sounds like you guys kind of gelled kind of quickly and easily, and it,
Hmm.
it just kind of took off from there. There wasn't like those initial, new band kind of the like navigating those muddy waters where like how do we get this thing together, developing a sound. It seems like you guys kind of, it was just easier at the beginning.
Yeah, so we started out um, early on playing a lot of covers, because we would, especially bars around here in like College Station, they require bands to do 3 hour, 4 hour sets, and so we had to
Yeah.
learn and write. A lot of country, we'd be playing a bar, and they're like, "Do you know any George Strait type stuff?" And we were like, no. But we do know this, we'd
But
have
we
to
can
play
play
some,
this.
we can play this, which is sort of country. So, and then after a couple years of playing live, we went in and recorded I Am. And really just during the writing process, everybody was just coming up with rock and roll songs. And we were just kind of like, well, I guess we're a rock band. That's just
Yeah.
I guess it just kind of naturally happened, organically. So,
Yeah, and that's kind of what I guess the core of my question, because it's like some of that stuff just spills out automatically when people get together and are playing music. It's just organic, like you said, and it's kind of the direction, almost like it almost pulls you into the direction that you're just going to go in versus you deciding a direction to go in.
yeah, I think a lot of that just has to do with, again, just being lucky enough to find guys you have chemistry with, create,
Yeah.
in the creative process, and I think that's why it makes it so. I wouldn't say easy all the time, but we can get into a jam room and come up with something, and it's usually all right. I mean, to us, like when like this record, and I might be jumping ahead, but this record, we're kind of approaching it as we always have, and a lot of the times we get into a room together and we start hashing stuff out, and jamming. And I think some of our best songs have just come out of the sky while we were jamming. We just heard it and it clicked, and it just, yeah. We're just lucky, man. Lucky and blessed to be able to do it together. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you read so many stories from some of the big names in history about how they, everybody writes differently, they record differently. The process is very varied depending on who you talk to, and some just everybody brings something into the recording room.
yep.
And sometimes you're just kind of hanging out. I have this idea. Let me just play a little bit of a riff, and all of a sudden somebody gets an idea off of that and it starts to build. And
And
so, what
that
was the
that
first?
that's
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
what happens. That's what happens to us too. I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many different. What were you going to ask me though?
Yeah. So what was your first recording process like? How was it like with you guys? Was it what were the challenges?
On the very first album,
Yeah.
man, it was really just kind of carefree, man. We were new at it. We were all green. Um, we just were having. I would say that it was just a blast because we've never been in like a studio setting before, together, and it was just a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
The
Just
first record for sure. And
bunch
Burn
of
the
guys just
Ships.
hanging out having fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it is. And what's cool about the what was cool about Burn the Ships process was, I mean, literally, that's why we called it that, was because at the time we had kind of all decided that we were going to do this full time. And I was a one of the lead dispatchers for. I had a pretty good job, at the time, and I was dispatching for Martin Marietta, which is a big concrete company, uh,
Okay.
and 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 so Nathan calls me one day, and I mean, I vaguely remember the conversation, but I remember like, hey, we're gonna do this thing, and so we he basically bought a house, and we all moved in together, and and then off to the races from there. But my point with that being was, we kind of burned the ships and never looked back really. Uh, so go that recording process was the first time we were in Nashville. We recorded in Nashville. We actually recorded it in a lot of different places, and we can touch more on that. But yeah, it's been a blast.
Yeah. How long did that take to record then? Because I want to get into the.
Um, man, if I remember right, it probably, so I can't really put a timestamp on it because I know, we were kind of recording. So we went down to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and recorded at Fame, and we recorded. I think we recorded "Where the Wind Blows" there. Um, a song on "Burn the Ships" called "Chains." It's a later track, and then I think we did one more there. But we got to know. I don't remember if you know the story behind like the Swampers down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama.
No.
So they were the big session guys down in down in Muscle Shoals back in the day. Like you had Percy Sledge, Aretha Franklin, all those people from back in the day, and that's where they recorded. In fact, the Rolling Stones recorded there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we got to know Jimmy Johnson through Cat, because he's originally from Muscle Shoals, and but he's a legend, man. You ought to look him up. And actually, there's a documentary on Muscle Shoals. I think it's called Muscle Shoals, and you can learn all about that scene down there. But yeah, man. So
I
we
know one person who listens to this podcast, a fellow podcaster, who's probably going to give me a lot of shit for not knowing all that info that you just fed me.
Well,
So
that's okay. That's all right. Hey, there's a lot of things I don't know either. I mean, even in the music world. So there's everybody's got their own thing, I guess. But
that's right. Yeah.
anyways, no, I mean it's something for it'd be cool for you to check out and learn about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he co-produced those songs with our main producer Phil Mosley, And so it was, we kind of just wanted to get his take, and he we sent him our songs, and we were kind of shocked. I was like, he likes us, he likes our music. Because I was worried that we were going to be too heavy for him, but no, he was all about it. So
Yeah, yeah.
that made it fun.
Yeah, and I want to get into this as we go, but because if you listen to your discography, if you even call it that anymore, what do we call like just a catalog, right?
Catalog, yeah.
Like there's a lot of variation, and you kind of listen to this journey as you guys go, and you kind of go back and forth between some heavy stuff and lighter stuff and different kinds of. You're almost kind of shading the line between certain genres here and there,
Yeah.
which I really dig, and I love that you guys do. Off of Burn the Ships, I just have to ask because, of course, we're from Boston,
Yeah.
so Aerosmith is my favorite band. I'm wearing the
Sure.
shirt. I have to ask, whose idea was it to cover Dream On?
So I believe it was nobody in the band. I think it was our buddy down in Palestine at the time. Um, his name is Asa, and I I think it was him. Correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's listening, guys. And anyways, I think he just came out of the blue, or it might have been our buddy Cole. But they were like, "Yeah, y'all should cover that Dream On by Aerosmith." And we were like, "No, no." So our producer Phil was like, um, "So we used to have just going backtracking a little bit. We used to have access to this studio down in Palestine that Phil used to work out of a lot with just random stuff that he used to record there, and um, so basically had access to it to go film and record whenever we liked. So that was a big blessing and luxury there. But anyway, so Phil was like, "Hey, let's just go give it a shot, just see what happens." So I was like, "Crap." So because there's already immediate pressure with that stuff.
Oh,
So
yeah, covering that
you
tune is that's a lot. Yeah.
yeah. So um, basically, we just kind of learned the song as it was, and just put our own spin to it. And then Matt just belts out that last note. We were like, "Hey, gummit, yeah, this is okay." I think it's passable for people to appreciate what we try to do with it. And lucky for us, I mean, it did really really well on YouTube, and I think it got us a lot of attention to kind of boost us a little bit, because we were, I mean, still are, but definitely then a nobody. I mean, nobody knew who we were. Um, so we put it out, and yeah, it did great, and we didn't get too many haters on it, so
No,
we're playing it still.
yeah, well, I just want to say, it is, as a huge Aerosmith fan myself, I've heard a lot of people try to cover that. Guys, if you are listening to this, stop the podcast and go listen to this cover. This is by far the best, and I don't mind saying this right to your
Thank you.
face,
Yeah,
cover
thank
of
you.
this song. The way you guys arranged this, the way you guys did this is just so good. It kind of like it leaves me a little speechless because it's so damn. I don't even know what to say about it. It's so damn good. You just have to hear it.
Yeah, yeah,
The guitars, the vocals, everything is just like perfect. It's your own take on it,
sure.
but you still really honor the history of that song,
Yeah,
without taking too much out of it.
I think that was really important for all of us. Just let's not try and change it up too much. We can add different guitar layers here and there, and you know I think of course the probably the biggest difference is maybe our guitar tone's a little bit heavier than the original, and it just, I don't know, we just kind of put our own twist on it, and but we were like, yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I think that was one of our goals, was just to not stray away from that original too much, because it was, of course, great as it was. So
Well, I mean, even Aerosmith is kind of straight away from the original. You listen to the recorded version of that versus the way they do it live now. Well, the way they used to do it live,
yeah,
it's changed over the years. It's gotten heavier and heavier, and it's
it
gotten like,
has.
so
Hmm.
I think you guys really paid homage to the original and also put your own spin on it, and kind of you almost kind of blended that evolution of what they've done with it as
Yeah,
well.
what they're
So
doing now. Yeah. Well, thank you, man. That means a lot. I appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah, it's really good. Um, so are you guys like? differ on the records? Are you guys recording live and just like layering things afterwards, or how are you guys? What's your process?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of different ways. We kind of get a lot of the times we'll get the meat and potatoes to the song down, and then we'll do overdubs later. So we are actually playing together most of the time.
Hmm.
Um, and then I may go back and add, or me or Malcolm may go back and add an overdub, like an extra rhythm track if the track calls for it. But yeah, I mean, we're playing live most of the time in the studio. I know there's been, in fact, it won't last. We didn't even play to a click. So, and what that did was just kind of help. That song really needed that. But I think if we tracked it to a click, it would just be too stale feeling, because that song's more bluesy, and I don't know, it's just got more, it just needed more breathing room, I guess you could say. So, the push and pull of the tempo actually made the song better. I think we tried it two different ways, and the metronome was just, it just didn't vibe. So
Oh, that's
there's,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of different approaches that we try to do, but yeah, but most of the time we're tracking it live and then going back and do overdubs. And for like lead stuff, typically I'll go back and I try to compose leads, and I'll improv them sometimes, but I just think I'm more of a composer type player than like a session guy who can just come up with a bunch of stuff
Come
off
in
the
with
rip.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I just feel like for me personally, I'm definitely more. I can come up with more unique stuff, I guess, to what sounds like me when I compose it.
Yeah, everybody's got their process, right? So
Yeah.
you come in, you tend to be more prepared. Has there been any have there been songs where that you remember where you came in, you didn't have some ideas and it kind of just like took shape during the recording and you were kind of
Yeah.
shocked by that for yourself because of
Yeah.
the process that you normally go on with?
Yeah. I mean, even for the new record, we kind of went in. So we've been kind of doing songs like different rounds of songs. So we'll take like three or four or five or whatever to the studio um, here in Tyler, Texas, which is near all of us. Uh, we've been approached the first round of songs as kind of demos, but we were like, man, we're kind of liking what we're getting. But we basically had the song and the main rhythms written, nothing fancy. We just had chords, right? So we went in there and yeah, just come up with a bunch of lines and licks that go into the song, just kind of on the spot, really. Just I may be sitting in there in the tracking room and uh, just kind of listen to the song and think about it for a second, and then tell them to rewind it, and then I lay it down that way a lot of the times. And on stuff like that, we can come up with a lot of things on the fly. Uh, but like as far as like big solos and stuff, I have to compose those.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
there's
yeah.
sometimes, I mean, sometimes I can just rip something, whatever. But I try to make everything with intention on each note, on where it's going and the phrasing and stuff like that. So I like to sit down and live with it for a day or two.
Yeah, I always find I know I'm sure it is true for a number of artists, but sometimes you hear some of these like, legendary guitarists talking about coming into the studio one day, they didn't really have any ideas about how they wanted to play that solo, right? And they're just
Hmm.
like it all suddenly, as the stories always go, it just suddenly came to them in the middle of the recording. And like you don't always believe that because like that's like a legendary solo right there. Everybody knows
Yeah.
every note of that,
Uh
but you
huh.
just came up with that on the spot.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. I
Maybe.
mean, it has happened to me before, but it wasn't in. I don't know if it was in a blacktop setting or not. But like, yeah, I mean, I can definitely that like one of the songs on this new record. I did come up with the solo on the fly on that on one song.
Oh, nice.
But it called for um well, I don't want to give too much away. You'll just have
Oh, we can't. Yeah.
to listen. So when I'm not worried about like just getting everything super perfect, which I try not to fall into that trap
Yeah, I was
because
just gonna ask. Yeah, you were a perfectionist.
yeah. I mean, I used to be a lot worse, but I think nowadays I don't allow myself to just fret, no pun intended, to fret over. That's my
Dad
dad
jokes.
joke
See, hey,
for the
listen,
day.
hey, dad jokes are welcome here.
So I try not to worry too much about just being as picky as I now. You know, at the same time, everything we do is still quality. But I mean, I used to just pick and pick and pick at stupid stuff. I just don't do that anymore. It's just
Yeah.
it's too time consuming, and it's like when like I'm sitting at home and I'm trying to get an idea, and I'll record, you know, I'll record a bunch of ideas down, and I'm like just picking away, and I'm like, crap, the first take was the best one. I should have just, we'll just use that. So, it's
Yeah,
just like
sometimes that's the
there's
case,
kind
right?
of just no point in just picking and picking and picking about it. But I think that's with any artist though, it's just kind of a maturity and growth thing. Um, when you just kind of realize, you know, I can do this. I'm not going to worry about it, as hard, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we had another artist on the show before who said, a song is kind of if you want it to never be done, it can be never be done.
That's
It's
exactly right.
always so at some point you just have to say this is it.
This is
We're
it.
we're we're throwing it out there. This is if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think the most as far as a league goes, I remember actually I talked about this the other day with somebody, or we made a post about the 10-year anniversary um, of Burn the Ships, which I don't know if that's been out yet or not. Anyways, yeah, it has. Uh, well, we recorded Prodigal, and we had to like kind of build the song up in the studio. So that was now when I was writing the solo for it, we stayed at an Airbnb. So that the night before I had to track it, I had to go to the Airbnb and write it. And I give some credit to Nathan, our drummer, because me and him was kind of on the same page, but he was hearing something, and they would go, "Hey, just kind of play that." And I'm like, "Oh, I know what you're talking about." So I think it was he kind of started like telling me how the intro should sound to the solo, and so that's where that came from. And then just kind of wrote the rest, and then went into the studio the next day, and it took me 40 bajillion times because a little bit of nerves, I guess, and being in Nashville, and um, but it's funny because all the guys, uh, after about 10 to 15 times of playing it, they were like, they all put their hand on my shoulder and said, "Hey, you can do it, Kiefer. Come on!" And like the whole take, they had their hands on my shoulder, and I nailed it. So,
there you go. You needed that support, right?
absolutely, yeah. It just,
Yeah.
yeah, those the recording process sometimes takes me a little bit longer because I just used to be such a perfectionist, I guess you could say. But you know, I just I guess grew to not worry so much.
Yeah, and at some point, like it's getting in the way of true songwriting, and it's getting in the way of the creative process. It becomes
Hmm.
intimidating because you never think anything you put out there is any good. You
Sure,
could always do
sure,
better.
absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
so when you guys take this out live, like, what's your approach to like like putting together a set, and how do you guys approach playing live? Because I've watched a lot of your live stuff, and you tend to kind of play it close to the to the record, but you also have this looseness as well. Or
Yeah,
you'll
I mean,
jam out on something. So it's like, what's your typical approach when you guys do go out live?
so we'll kind of go in at the beginning of the year and do like a 2 to 3 day or whatever it takes rehearsal, and we'll get like a whole list of songs together, and we'll uh like we got lights in production, a little bit of lights in production now, so we kind of maybe we'll tailor the show to the lights a little bit, just so to give the fans a little bit more of an experience. But we'll go in and kind of just have this grand list of all of our songs and what we've been playing and what haven't we been playing live. And so we'll interchange a lot of those, and then we'll kind of write them down, and then we'll get a flow together with them. So we may, the biggest one always seems to be, what are we going to open with? Because you know you kind of want to you kind of want to open with the song that everybody knows a little bit. Uh, so we may sometimes look at Spotify and being like, hey, what's been played a lot? What are people
Yeah.
listening to? Um, so we may do the set like that. But we try to get a, kind of we look at it as in blocks. So we'll have like the first block of songs, and then typically we'll put an acoustic set in there. Matt might play one or two, and then we'll come back with the next block of songs, and it may be like, I know, like last year we kind of themed it as like vibes. So we'd put a group of songs together as kind of more just, I don't know, not happy, but like just more of a vibey rock. And then like our second block would be dark. I don't, and then we would do the lights with it. So it just
Interesting.
a
Yeah.
kind of like a journey, uh, at a show. So we do it all sorts of ways. We, just try to do whatever flows the best, and then we'll write jams in between those, like you said, or we may improv something in between those songs. So we may intentionally write just a cool like jam that has intention, or we may just improv something on
Oh,
the
okay. All
spot.
right. So that's where some of that stuff comes from. That's cool.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the live experience. That's why we go to shows, because we love a band, we want to go see them live, but we don't necessarily
Hmm.
want to hear everything we can hear on the record.
Sure.
People love those moments.
Yeah, and sometimes we'll play different guitar parts, different than the record, uh, on purpose or not on purpose, but it just ends up being that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll have to transcribe different guitar parts to make it feasible live. Um, just different. There's all sorts of variables in it, but we try to tackle them all.
Yeah, yeah. Well, before we get into the next question I have for you, I just want to let our listeners know that this episode of the Guitar Dads podcast is brought to you by none other than Copper Sound Pedals. You guys know Copper Sound. We had Alex on last week. You guys, we talk about Copper Sound constantly, not just as a sponsor of the podcast, but as an incredible pedal company. This week's episode is brought to you by the Mod Club. Again, like we talked last week. Mod Club, you guys know what Mod Club is because we talked about it. But for those that are just listening for the first time tonight, that's the newest addition to the ever popular Copper Sound DIY. Mod Club is a monthly subscription service where each month members gain access to exclusive breadboard kits with build along videos by Alex himself. Each month's box also includes a 3 to 5 mystery items and a chance at a golden ticket, which is redeemable for any DIY item up to 99 bucks. Members also have access to other exclusive videos and a vault page consisting of DIY tools available only for Mod Club members. You ask, how much is it? It's not much, guys. It's 39 bucks a month. If this is your thing, if you like to build pedals, do it. Go to the Copper Sound Pedals website, sign up, and you can be a member of the Mod Club. You can cancel whenever. If you don't like it, you're not digging it, you're realizing this isn't your thing, cancel. It's fine. They understand. And if you want to get 10% off your order of anything from Copper Sound, make sure you hit the code DADPOD10 at checkout and get your 10%. All right. Thanks to Copper Sound and Alex and the gang doing fantastic stuff over there. All right. Speaking of gear, Ryan,
Yes.
everybody, let's get into the meat and potatoes because this is what,
Yeah.
a lot of our listeners love. Let's talk
Absolutely.
rigs because we could go on all night about it, right?
Yeah.
Has your rig changed over the years, or have you kind of been,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it has. I mean,
Do tell.
yeah. So for a long time, we, I guess, when we started touring, the so we started. I used to have a Framus Cobra 2, and when I first joined Blacktop, and I don't know if it was just that particular amp, but I just could never get the sound I wanted out of it. I got talked into buying it a while back, even before I joined Blacktop. So that's what I had. And then I had a Mesa triple rectifier,
Oh, nice.
um, along with a PRS Archon 50,
Okay. Yeah.
and which were both great amps. And then we got talked into by our producer again, Phil. He's like the sixth member of the band, by the way, and he's local to us, so we were always hanging out and still do. But um, so this is when Kemper profilers started coming out at the time.
Okay. All right.
So we started using those in the studio and on tour, and we did that because, for one thing, now we still use cabs too. That was very very important to me, just because we all like that air behind us, and so use those for years. Everybody was going to them at the time, and then and they were great because we were like in a van and a trailer. There were 7 guys because we took so our very first tour we were in like a 15 passenger, like one of those church vans, and it was seven guys, and we built bunks in the back, so like you could sleep 2 up top, 2 on the bottom. You can sleep in the
Oh man,
back row
that's
of the
tight.
seat. Oh bud, oh buddy. And so the Kemper was kind of more compact, at the
Yeah.
time. I think I was using a 2x12 Avatar cabinet, and then we went 65 days straight from coast to coast in a van. And
Oh
so,
man.
yeah, that'll make a man out of you. If
That'll
you
do a
know.
lot to you in a very
So
short period of time.
that is right. So we used those for years, and really we didn't go back to tubes until I guess a year or two ago. So like
Oh,
whenever
interesting. Okay.
kind of when I came started, I took a hiatus and then came back, and then
Yep.
at the time Malcolm was still in the band, of course, and then I called him up one day. I said, "Man," I said, "we got to go back to tubes." I said, "I'm sorry." And of course, we already knew, love you, Jack, but we already knew our sound guy was going to hate us for it, just because he had those Kempers dialed in. It made his life
Yeah, oh yeah.
so easy,
Way easier. Yeah.
way easy. So I was just like, man, I've never had that experience, uh, like as a touring musician, to have the full fledged tube 4x12 cabinet behind me, actual pedals, and the Kemper. I mean, did fantastic. I mean, tonally, it's hard to tell up front nowadays if you're using tubes. But for me, there was always that the feel of it a little bit, and then it's a lot of it's probably mental too. But I'm just
Well,
like, man, I just go ahead.
no, no. I mean, Matt and I talk about that a ton. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you can riff on about like expensive gear versus inexpensive gear, budget
Mhm.
gear, all this stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because you can. People say, well, the audience doesn't know. It doesn't matter because if it changes you as a player, that's what matters because that's what
Eh,
they're hearing.
that's kind of what I was getting at, is because, like, it's fun for especially guitar players to be excited about gear because it makes you want to play.
Right.
It's not necessarily the gear's going to make you a better player, but it inspires you to play. So if you're really enjoying what you're getting out of your equipment, you're going to be enjoying the show a lot more. And so I just, I was getting bored with the Kemper basically, because yes, it had all these settings and cool stuff, and I've got it right. I've got one of them right here. I use it at home all the time when I can't mic up, but uh, it's just there's something again, and you hear everybody say it. There is something about tubes, the combination of tubes and air being pushed behind you, whatever that. Oh, I can tell you where the difference really is for me was like uh, the more rolled back stuff, like the edge of breakup type, maybe leads I was playing. The tubes really shine on that kind of stuff, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
compared to the Kemper, and I have an old Kemper, and I'm sure their firmware being updated has made it even better. And then they came out with the second one, and then the Neural DSP stuff I haven't even dug into, but I would like to try it just for the heck of it, but I was just getting bored with the Kemper, and I just thought it'd be fun to just bring out the old school stuff. And and I was like, our image, like if you were to talk about, not that we care about our image too much, but if you were to talk about, a rock and roll band, what do you think of? I think of
Exactly.
cabinets and
Cabinets
amps
behind you.
and cabinets behind me and amps and just having the real deal. So that was kind of part of our decision making on that. And then of course Malcolm was getting all psyched up because he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And so I spent about 6 months. Well, maybe not even quite that long, but man, my brother-in-law is a tone nerd as well. So me and him just searched and searched and searched, and I went I went and searched, all the Friedmans, Mesas, and I came across the Bad Cat Links one day. I'm like, that's a little different. I'd like to try that. Well, lucky enough, one of our the music we have a music store here locally called Mont Music, and I went to we have one in Tyler and a place called Longview, Texas, and we went to the one in Longview and tried them out. And man, I kind of fell in love with it, man. It was just a
Yeah.
cool, like it had a little bit different EQ, different spectrum on the EQ, and so I was like, that would probably blend well with like a Marshall type amp, which Malcolm plays. He plays a Friedman. So
Okay.
yeah.
Which
So
Friedman is he playing now?
he's got the B100 Deluxe.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So, and then, yeah, played it, loved it, brought it home with me. And,
There you go. That
but
was the one. You just knew it the minute you played it.
yeah, man, it was great. I just vibed with it. And of course, I'm sure one day I'll change amps. I'm back there looking at them right now. Just, they're back there talking about me.
Oh, it's yeah, it's a
Yes.
constant journey. I mean, as
Yeah,
much
I
as
know.
you're always you're as much as you are satisfied with gear, you're never like fully like your thirst is never quenched, like you
No.
always kind of want to go after something else. So
Yeah. Yeah. And, me and Malcolm, it's just funny because the other guys always roll their eyes at us because we'll just sit there and talk about gear all the time. And they're just like, shut up.
yeah,
Why
yeah,
can't you be happy with what you got? No, but they understand it. It's just,
the
we,
never ending question that guitarists get
yeah,
asked,
absolutely. Absolutely.
or my wife asks, "Did you buy another
That's,
guitar?" No, no,
no,
that's just you just didn't see that one hanging on the wall. Yeah, that's
you can
different.
never have too
Yeah.
many though.
No, that's the question, right? How many is too many? What or how many? What's the one more than you have, right? So
I
you
think,
always need something else.
I think the collection that Joe Bonamassa has is probably too many.
Yeah, yeah. Joe kind of reaches that level, right? Like that's
Yeah.
too much.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's getting there. I think he has three places full of
he
guitars, which
does.
yeah, it's just
He's
nuts.
he's
I love it though.
he's such a gear nut, but he's such like a custodian of like history. He
That's what's
really does
awesome
care
about
about
him.
it.
He
Yeah,
does. He loves it, and you can see it every time he talks about it. His eyes just
yeah.
light up, and it's just cool to see.
And it matters, and it matters anything that he's playing. He's a perfect example of that. If it matters to him, it's going to come out in his playing, and it totally does.
For sure. Totally agree. Totally agree.
Well, cool. So let's talk about guitars. What do you been kind of jiving with lately, or anything different? Or are you still kind of rocking the same? Like you're more of like a like how has your guitar journey changed from the beginning?
So started out on that Fender Strat that my dad had.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Played that for years. Then my grandfather passed away, and he left me a little bit of money to kind of do what I wanted with, and we went out and I bought two PR, well, not two at the same time, but I bought a PRS. It was actually a Tremonti model because I was a big fan,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
so bought it. Came home because I remember before I really understood tone as well. I remember back in the day, I'm like playing hard rock songs. I'm like, I just cannot figure out why I cannot get the tone that's on the record. And I figured out it's because I didn't have humbucking pickups. Duh. I was playing through single coils at the time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I made the switch then. I'm like, there it is. That's what I was looking for. That was very early on. And then let's see, I acquired, like after joining Blacktop, I acquired a Les Paul, and it was like a studio deluxe, and we were playing a festival in Gun Barrel City, Texas, and that guitar got stolen from the
Oh,
show. And I think this was like a few months before we went and recorded Burn the Ships.
oh,
So
wow.
I didn't have like I only had one Les Paul, and like we were kind of adamant at the time about having Gibsons because they did a certain thing, right? We wanted to have all the tonal uh experience. So,
Oh,
we
yeah.
want the Paul Reed Smiths, the Gibson Les Pauls and everything. But so that was at the time like kind of like my number one. I was playing it all the time. I loved the way it sounded. It got stolen. So lucky enough, um, can't thank him enough. Matt's grandpa kind of fronted some money for me so that I could get another one, and I ended
Oh,
up paying him
wow.
back for it. But I mean,
Yeah.
and then here I'll grab this one real quick.
Yeah.
But
Let's see.
um, but yeah, still this is still my number one today. This is it's just my Les Paul standard,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, so that's the one he helped me buy.
Is that like a bourbon burst or what is that? I can't tell from the.
They call it a desert
It's like a.
burst.
Oh, it's desert. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
kind of a
what a pretty top. Yeah.
yes. It's awesome. And the neck's kind of thinner, which man, for I mean, I've got kind of chubby fingers, like they're kind of short, so it makes it a little bit easier for
I
me.
know the feeling.
So, but so from there, man, I just kind of gravitated to Gibson, and I've still got my two PRSs that I bought a long time ago, and then here recently, and I've exchanged Les Pauls. Oh, I forgot about that. On down the road, we got the opportunity to play with Sammy Hagar on his rock and roll
Oh,
road trip show.
awesome.
So we were kind
Sammy is
of
the man.
Sammy is the man. He's probably the nicest guy I've ever met in my life, but he was so cool. Do you want to go into that? I know this is I
Uh,
bounce around a lot, but
yeah, we're getting close to time, but yeah, I
okay,
mean a Sammy story.
just
Yeah, we got. I mean, talk about the guy who
yeah,
like embodies rock and roll right there, right?
yeah, just
He
real
is rock
quick.
and roll. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we had our Gibson rep at the time, got us hooked up, and he called us and said, "Hey, do y'all want to back a rock and roll legend?" And he never told us who it was until we committed, and it was for Sammy Hagar and his TV show he was doing. And he said, "If y'all do that, you know, I'll give your guitar player a guitar of his choice." So they had a
Oh,
list.
wow.
Yeah, I'm so lucky, man. They had a list of them. I think it was like a Flying V, an Explorer, and then a Gold Top Les Paul. I said, the Gold Top's mine.
Give me the Les Paul. Yeah,
Give
took
me
the
the
gold
Les
top.
Paul.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. So we went down there, played it, and so that's how I received that guitar. Still got it, and then I added this Telecaster that I've got in my vault recently, just to give kind of play tail lights, songs like tail lights, like Wild
Man, you were
Horses.
talking my jam, the Les Paul and the Telly.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, really, you could probably if you put a humbucker in that telly, you could probably get some Les Paul tones out of it. But
Oh, you can cover a lot of ground. Yeah, yeah. With
with a
just those two
Telecaster,
guitars. Yeah, yeah. Yep.
absolutely. So, I mean, I'm mainly a Gibson guy as of today, and been that way for a long time. Just something about them I love, and the Paul Reed Smiths are awesome too.
Oh
I
yeah. I
like it
mean,
all, man. Let's just be
yeah.
real. I like it
Yeah, I mean,
all.
we're not, nobody's judging. I mean, there's of course like the Gibson haters out there, right? But let me
Yeah,
be the first, and I'm sure Ryan will agree. You're wrong, but that's okay. It's fine. It's
yeah,
okay to be
yeah,
wrong.
yep,
But I mean, how do you hate on a PRS too?
yeah.
It's yeah, it is a journey. But then once you kind of really, um, once you become attached to something, it's really hard to let go.
Yeah, because I think it kind of becomes, kind of your sound type deal too.
Yeah,
So, like when you're used to hearing something that's close to a Les Paul or whatever you gravitate towards, I mean, that's just what you're gonna naturally pick up. I think.
yeah, yeah. So what's on the floor? Are you hitting any pedals? You hitting any using any drives? I'm sure you're using like delays and verbs and all that stuff. But
Yep. Yeah. So my pedal board, I have and I didn't add this till later because the Kemper is very streamlined on its on the foot switcher. So like on the Kemper, I had like my clean, dirty lead set up on
Yep.
like four
Yep.
patches, and went to the pedal board. I'm like, man, I don't like dancing around. I figured that out pretty quick. So I figured out a solution. I'm like, I got to get a loop switcher of some sort. So I've got a Boss ES8
Yeah, okay.
on. So that's how I'm switching. But like for my drive pedal, I've got a Tumnus.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
That's
and
one of my
then
favorites.
yeah, me too. And then I've got I bought this pedal in Canada when we were in Canada with Clutch, and it's called I can't remember. It's called the glove pedal, but it's like a
Oh,
a
that's
purple. You know what I'm
is
talking
that
about?
is it a
I
it's
can't.
got to
I
be
gotta look.
EHX, right? That Electro Harmonics. The heck is the
Yes,
glove? Yeah,
yes,
yep,
yep, yep.
yep.
And then I've got there's a pedal, and I can't think of the brand. But it's the Gravy, like the Tricourse.
The grape.
Yeah,
Wow.
you ever heard of it's
No, but I love me some Trichorus.
Oh yeah, so I got a Tricourse there, and it's got vibrato and all that stuff on it,
Okay,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah,
really cool.
yeah.
And then I've got the Big Sky Reverb,
Nice. Yeah.
and then for my delay pedal, I added it not too long ago, and I can't think of it, but I also had a oh shoot, what is it called? My memory's terrible, by the way, so sorry. I know I
Well, you pay.
consider.
We just own too much gear to remember what you're actually using, right?
Oh, lost you. Are you there?
That's right.
There you are.
Yeah, you're back.
We do, man. But it changes all the time. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
we good?
Yeah, I mean,
10
and you're always like, oh yeah, we're back. Yeah, it's always, you're still approaching that core sound that you want, but you'll always like, you can always you switch in pedals, in and out pedals,
Yeah.
especially in a live situation. To go
Mhm.
back to that whole audience thing, as long as it's inspiring you, the audience really doesn't know which pedal you're kicking on at the moment.
No, and that's the most important part is what inspires you as a player
Exactly. Yeah.
to be happy with it. So for sure.
Well, Ryan, we are coming up on time. I want to thank you so much for coming on the Guitar Dads podcast. Sorry that Matt couldn't be here. But I want to give you the floor. Shout out, give us your the socials. Tell us about what's upcoming in the next year for the band.
Yeah.
When's the new album coming out? All that stuff.
So we're doing a pre-order for the new album right now, and we're doing a lot of like package deals to where you can kind of help us get the album made. Kind of a crowd-funded type deal to where
Nice.
kind of helps us finish it out. Basically, we don't really have a stamped date yet. We're gonna shoot for this fall, maybe.
Oh, nice. All right.
But that's what it's looking
Look
like
forward
right
to that.
now. Yeah, so you can go to www.blacktopmoser.com to order all that and pre-order the album, and that'll get us where we need to be. So,
Nice.
and then we're going to Europe in April, so be on the lookout for that. And then we're gonna fix and start releasing more dates on this summer runs and stuff like that here in the States.
Cool. And I know we talked offline, but because I forgot to ask you about, we never even get into the whole like the differences between audiences over there versus over here. How do they respond to you versus some of the American audiences?
Well, I can tell you from other people's stories, but I had my son last year, so I actually didn't go, and that was
Oh, yeah. Okay.
that
Alright.
was the first time that the band went. But my first son was born like right at the beginning of that tour, so I already knew.
That's kind of an important reason to not go
Yeah,
on
you
tour. I
can,
get, yeah,
I
yeah,
can't be
yeah.
like Dewey Cox, and I can't be like I'm just gonna miss some things. I'm
All
not gonna
right.
do
Yeah,
that.
just not gonna be here.
So,
Yeah.
but no, from the stories what the guys told me, and of course, you hear it all the time, man. Over there, it's a different world. I mean, it's like
Yeah. We hear
rock
from
and
so
roll's
many
like
different artists.
rock and roll's like pop over there. That pop over here, like pop and country is over here. I mean, everybody treats you like kings over there,
Yep.
and has great respect for all the bands and what they do. And yeah, I remember watching a show, and I think Matt's talked about it before, but like, one of the shows over there, I mean, he like choked up during Prodigal because there were so many people singing, man, at the same time, and it's just like they just love it. They
Yeah, we
love it.
talked to so many bands that it just like they love going. They'd rather not that they don't like touring here, but
Sure.
they just love touring over there because of the response, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's a almost like a religious experience for a lot of these
Yeah.
fans. You know?
So over there, music is life,
Yeah,
and here, music's entertainment, but over there, music is life for them,
yeah,
for
yeah. It's
sure.
such a difference, right?
It really is.
Um, well, that's cool. So you guys are going to be heading out over there. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Exciting that you got the new record coming out. And where can people find you guys on socials?
Just look Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Just Blacktop Mojo. Type it
Yep.
in, we'll pop right up. So,
Awesome.
yep, good
Yeah, go check them
times.
out, guys. You are not going to be disappointed. If you want to hear some killer riffage, some killer tunes, like I mentioned earlier, a very kind of a broad catalog of a lot of different types of music. Go check them out. Blacktop Mojo. Ryan, an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
sir.
finally got you on the show. I know we had a
Yeah.
lot of like, cancellations, sickness, and then you were moving and all this stuff, but
Yep.
we finally landed the plane. So really happy that you came on.
Me too.
Um, thank you so much. And if you want to check out the Guitar Dads, go find us at Guitar Dads Podcast on Instagram and Threads. Find us on YouTube. Join the Facebook group at Guitar Dads Podcast. And for Matt, that was this week's Guitar Dads Podcast. I'm going to do his part now. Keep rock alive. Catch